Guys, I gotta admit, I am so beyond fascinated with the whole saga that is Boogie2988. I've never wanted to see someone crash and fall as hard as him. And, you know, that's saying a lot because I've wanted to see the demise of people like EDP, who is an actual predator of children, or Dr. Disrespect, who is an actual predator of an underage individual. And compared to them, the level of lying and manipulation and lying and manipulation, lying and again and manipulating again, and the grift here and the grift there and everywhere, a grift. This guy is just so fascinating that I just am over fascinated with him, borderline obsessed with him. And I know in my heart that he gets off on all the negativity that people like me and saturated content and Mudahar and anyone else that makes a video about him makes about him. Like he lives for that. He's like the PT Barnum of our time. You know, say what you want about me, just make sure you spell my name correctly. And I just know that he's sitting there with nothing else to do in his world but sit there and just search out social media and be like, oh, more negativity about me. Oh God, more negativity. I love it. I love it because for whatever reason, more than anyone else I've known on the internet, he just wants that negativity. Like I don't buy the whole fence sitting. I just want to appease people. Like, no, I think he does the fence sitting more to annoy people and get more negativity out there. I think there was a day and time that he actually did care about being a positive individual, but man, people started turning on him and he just kept turning on them even more, and his wife left him and all this other stuff, and he was just like, oh, I'm just going to be that grifting guy that is going to pull the wool over everyone's eyes and milk that cow as much as possible. And I gotta admit, I have tuned in for every inch of his demise. But something happened last night. He returned to the internet. Hun, you're being dramatic. She fell into a pillow. Anyway, he returned to the internet, and specifically the LOL Cow Live podcast. And I was watching, I was like, I can't wait to hear what he has to say. Then when he actually joined up to the podcast, after about 3 minutes in, I'm just like, I can't stand hearing this guy's voice. I can't stand knowing he exists. Like, I am just, I had to turn it off. For the first time ever, I am so physically repulsed just by his existence. I just don't want to see him exist. That's not wishing him to die or anything like that. I'd rather just not know he even exists. And I gotta tell you guys, other than something cataclysmic going on with him, about him, I just don't have I just don't have it in me to continue to make videos about this guy. Especially knowing that he just feeds off this negativity and we're all just kind of giving him what he wants. Because he just wants attention. He just wants attention in any way, shape, or form. He just wants attention. I don't know if it's because he didn't get enough from his mother or father or friends or whatever. I don't know. And I don't care at this point. I don't want to hear what his sob story is. Not that I would believe it anyway. I don't care if he's on financial hardships, which I've never really believed that narrative anyway. I just find it just too impossible to believe that he squandered everything. I think he's got a nest egg tucked away deep enough that he's able to finance the remaining few years of his life. But anyway, who cares at this point? We're never going to get the truth out of him, nor can we believe him when he says anything anyway. So who cares? Who cares? Who cares if he goes flat broke? Who cares if he never goes broke? I'm just at the point where I just don't care anymore. All I know is I want to see him suffer. I want to just know that he suffers, but I ain't going to go out of the way to report things, again, unless it's something just insanely cataclysmic. Because if it's something like, oh my gosh, did you see he put his bath water for sale? I'm like, yeah, that's an upgrade compared to the grifts he's done, like grifting cancer. Yeah, that's a bit of an upgrade. So if anything, it's an improvement in the ways of his life. So I can't imagine anything that he's going to do that is going to be worse than grifting cancer. And like I said in my previous video I made about him, we all know, unless you're that one guy that left a comment saying, like, actually, I don't know anyone that has cancer or suffered from cancer, which I don't know, maybe don't know enough people in this world, or maybe they didn't disclose it, but anyway. We all know either someone that we've loved dearly or we had a strong friendship with, someone that you worked with a number of years that got cancer, and you've seen them suffer or you've seen them die. Like, I myself, my father had colon cancer and died. I was the one in the hospital that had to make the decision to take him off of life support because me and the rest of the family, we were just done watching him suffer. We saw him over a 2-year span whittle down to a shell of a human being. He looked like one of the people that walked out of Auschwitz when the Soviet Union liberated them. Like, that's what, and like, that's not an exaggeration. And my dad was a fit guy up until that point, and complete shell of a human being. And to know that this guy grifted cancer, I would love for him just to disappear. I don't wish him to die. I don't wish anyone to die. But if he just went away and I never saw a second of his existence again in my life, I'd feel a little better. I'd feel a little better. But again, his existence taken away from the internet is going to cause less harm to people. So anyways, I'm to the point where I can't stand. He is one of the few people on this planet that I can't stand to physically see. Like, that is how much I despise of him as a human being. If he was walking towards me on the street and I was walking towards the direction that he was coming from, I would spit at his feet and walk the other way. Walk across the street. I don't even want to be on the same side of the street as him. I don't care if it's an inconvenience that I have to cross the street because that slob is coming to me. And I never pick on someone for their physical state of being, them being overweight or not attractive or anything like that. I don't respect him as a human being. That's why I call him things like a fat slob, a big fat pig. I use superlatives like that towards him because I don't have a respect for him as a human being. I respect any other human being more because I will not call them names that denigrate their physical appearance. This guy, fat's a lot. Anyway, I know you guys got used to me making videos about this guy at every turn, but I'm done. Watch saturated content. Watch Mudahar. Watch anyone else that is willing to make videos about this slob of humanity. So I'm done. Again, unless it is something cataclysmic, like his death, or he does something that is just like, I can't believe that he did this. Like, this genuinely surprised me. The guy that doesn't surprise anyone did something that was shocking. Other than that, I'm done with this guy. I suggest that everyone else do the same, because again, he just wants attention. He just wants attention, and we all give it to him. We enable him to keep going with these grifts, with just the insanity, the fake tirades that he throws. And just one last thing. If he had polycythemia, whatever, the Vera version of that poly crap. Anyway, why didn't he list that as his list of ailments in his documentary? That documentary was made after his quote-unquote diagnosis of this blood cancer. Why didn't he list that in the movie? Do you ever wonder that? Anyway, I'll leave you on that note, guys. I'm going to go back to playing with my kids because that's 10 times, 100 million times better than talking about someone who doesn't deserve to even exist. That is all.